finally I got to watch some Stranger Things. Fuck, man. I've been so busy with work. I'm so behind. I feel like this show's been out forever. It's been out one day. But it's still, I feel like I'm so behind. Like everyone I know is like, have you finished yet? It's awesome. And I'm like, fuck off, okay? I got things to do. Anyway, all right. So Dart got loose and we find out that he can burrow underground and build those tunnels just like, Hopper falls into. And that there's like 5 or 10 of them now, a ton of them. So where all those came from, I don't know. Something I noticed in this episode was that, and it goes back to another episode too. It's like when Nancy goes to that party and she's just like pounding those drinks. She's sitting in here at Murray's house, Murray's, whatever the hell you want to call that place. She takes the drink and you can just tell she has got a drinking problem. That could turn into something seriously bad. So she needs to get a hold of that. I know I used to be a raging alcoholic once upon a time. Oh, it was so nice to see Jonathan and Nancy finally getting together. And that breakfast in the morning the next day. I didn't really care for Murray's character. Not that I didn't like him or I did like him. It was just in this episode I finally was like, oh, this guy's funny. This guy's cool. This guy's, the whole talk he has with them before they go to bed and like them all in bed like thing. They're like walking to the door to each other. It was a little romantic, for most people's taste. But I liked it. I felt like it was really super cute. And I was very happy to see them get together finally. So, and then as I said, that breakfast was cracking me up, especially with like the pull-out joke. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty racy for Stranger Things. Now we got Will has some memory loss, and it seems to date back to before the incident, before he was taken into the Upside Down. So I guess that's what's going on with that. But he then ends up being like, a spy, a double crosser. He turns on him, sends them to their death, and now they're after him. So Will's got to break away from this. Otherwise, I was just watching this and I realized like these characters, I never really thought about it. I guess they could die, right? I mean, I don't know why that didn't occur to me before. I guess the show just seems like one of those, it just seems a little lighthearted and like almost like a family show in a way, even though it's not. I don't know. I just never thought of like Mike or Dustin or any of those characters actually being able to die, or even like Steve or Jonathan or, Nancy and I'm like, so sitting there this episode, I was like, when they were attacking him in the junkyard, and I was like, what, actually, could Steve die here? Like, whoa, I don't even know why that never crossed my mind. I don't feel that tension like anyone's ever going to die. And this is the first episode that made me think like, one of these characters could die this season. That's weird. I mean, it makes total sense. I don't know why I didn't think of it. I don't know if I'm alone in that, but yeah. I thought it was pretty ridiculous and hilarious. I know people do this, but Billy's sitting there smoking and drinking beers while working out. That's counterproductive. We got Will connected to the shadow monster, which is obviously how he ends up turning on them. I don't know how they didn't see that one coming. But yeah, anything happens to that thing, it happens to him. So they hurt that, they hurt him. I really like the bonding between Steve and Dustin this episode. Those seemed like secondary characters in the first season. And even though I wasn't a huge fan of Steve, I kind of thought he was a little bit of an asshole. I ended up liking him in this episode, and I ended up liking Murray, as I said, as well. And I actually ended up liking Dr. Owens as well. I was kind of like on the fence. Like, is this guy? He seemed like he was a good guy, but I figured like, oh, he turned bad. He turned into like the Matthew Modine character, Papa, soon. And when they said like, if he dies, he dies. He pulls out the Ivan Drago line on him, and he's like, "Don't you ever say that fucking shit to me again, or I'll rip your fucking head off." Okay, maybe I'm paraphrasing a little there, but hey, I was like, "Yeah, I get it, Dr. Owens." Yeah, so still no number 8 in this one. So I mean, I'm sure they'll get there eventually. And there was no 11 either, so there was like no numbers in this episode. They were done with the numbers. And I'm just so curious on like, when are we going? I mean, they're building this up like crazy. When are we going to get this fucking, reconnection between Mike and 11? When are we going to get that scene? I'm guessing it better happen this season. Man, it's better not turn into Game of Thrones where the Starks don't return to Winterfell for like 6 seasons. I got to see their reunion already. But it's fun to wait. I just wish she would have revealed herself before when she saw him and Max on the basketball court, but she just decided to be jealous instead and push the bitch down. So yeah, and then this ends with like, the shadow monsters are coming. You also got this whole little love triangle. As I said earlier, I was really liking the relationship advice from Steve to Dustin, and I thought that whole thing with like him talking about his hair and all that was really funny. And then you got a little bit of a love triangle there. Dustin's all about Max, and his buddy's moving in on his girl, and they were like holding hands after they pulled her away. So we're going to see, they're obviously going to butt heads here, but it looks like Max has made her decision so far, although Nancy seemed to pick Steve at the end of this last season and now is finally seeing the errors of her ways, which is kind of ironic because I wanted her to be with Jonathan at the end of season 1 because I didn't really care for Steve, but now the episode in which I started to actually like Steve and was like, oh, he's actually kind of a stand-up dude. Like, he's running out there with Dustin to fight off these, off Dart and the other Resident Evil looking dogs. I was like, oh, he's kind of kick-ass dude. All right, and even when Dustin's like, oh, yeah, because he's fucking awesome. I'm like, kind of is right now. Okay. And then it's like, that's the episode she decides to like fuck Jonathan. So I was like, oh man, like you had to wait till the episode where I actually was like liking the dude. Oh, now I feel conflicted. So lots of love triangles here in this episode. I'm so excited. I mean, I said 3 episodes left, I think in the last video. I was wrong, which is good. I want to be wrong. More episodes better. So I'm glad I was wrong when I went back and was like, oh, I have 4. So now I only have 3. So anyway, I gotta go get to that next one.